Hey everyone, Rachel and Steph, Yoga Bones, bringing you our BAM series, Benefits, Anatomy, Alignment, Modifications for 100. We are on pose number 15.
Only 85 more to go.
You all know, only 85 more to go. You all know it as pyramid pose, and it's just so beautiful. I'm going to go and demonstrate it now, and we'll talk about some of the benefits, the alignment modifications as we're going through this video.
Yes,
so
please.
thanks, Steph. Thank you.
I will guide her through it. There we go. So Rachel already has her blocks ready because she knows her body, she knows her practice. So she's like, yep, my hamstrings, let me set up my blocks right away. So pyramid pose traditionally would be you step out of it, you step backwards if you're at the top of your mat, if you're getting into it. Also, once you're already into it, would be reverse prayer hands. So reverse. We were just talking about it, Rachel and I, and neither of us can do it like to the full extent of the thing. It requires a lot of shoulder, it requires longer limbs. We've talked about this. She's way closer than I am. That's amazing. So a variation to that would be fist to fist, wrist to wrist, or grabbing your elbows. What this does, having the hands behind you, allows to keep the nice chest, that nice chest opening that we have here. So that extension of the spine. So what we want to do is when we look at the feet, can you turn facing forward so they can see the alignment of your feet just for a quick second? So what we want to do is make sure that we're not stepping back behind the front foot. So we're not on that tight rope or that slight slack line kind of action. We want to respect the hip points and have the feet hip width distance apart. So the back foot is a little bit turned out, amazing, but what's important is where are the hips? Thank you. We like to call them headlines, your shoulders and your hips. So Rachel, the toes are slightly turned out, which is also perfect, but all 10 toes are down, both heels are down, but her hip is fully forward. So we want to keep that, what we said also is that Tadasana spine, so that lengthening between the tailbone and the crown of the head. So what we want to do with this pose is find where we can. So this is where the blocks come. If your hamstrings don't allow you to go all the way down. So we're talking about the Ashtanga series being like the traditional pose would be with the legs extended, hands behind your back. Like we've mentioned before, not all humans can do that. I'm one of them. Rachel is closer than me though, but it's finding what you can with the bind in the hand. So what we're going to do with the hand gestures. Hands to the hips is another great one, as long as you keep extending. Look at that. So good. Look at that spine. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And if you want to go a little deeper, but then this is where the blocks come in very handy. Again, they have 3 heights. Play with them, but see how deep and how long you can keep that nice extension of your legs. So from the bottom of the heel all the way wrapping up around your glutes. Can you keep your lower back and your pelvis neutral and nice and flat? Look at that. Look at the crown of the head, extension of the neck, sit bones reaching back. That looks so good. So ideally, if you're practicing on your mat, you would be doing it on the right side and on the left side. So we mentioned this before, blocks are your friend. Please use them. The modification for this pose would definitely be to use your blocks or your hand placement, change it around, but please focus on your legs and the stability and your feet. Rachel in the other videos also talked about the big toe mount and like the big toe joint, which is in this pose really, really important, especially in the front foot. The minute you activate those toes and press down on the big toe, that whole activation at the midline happens, and it actually helps to shift and square off your hips and pelvis. Yes?
I think a definite yes. And this is the one that Steph didn't see in a previous video. The 4 corners of each of your feet, everyone, I was just doing it with my back foot there. Maybe even Steph, you can have a play if you like, just to see what a different human looks like.
A shorter one.
A shorter one with more flexible hamstrings. And for me, everyone, one of the key benefits of this pose is to make sure that those 4 corners of each of the feet are always in contact equally with the ground, so that you have that sort of frog suction cup effect of both feet on the ground. And then from there, that activation. A bit of a big one here, everyone, is do not ever hyperextend or lock out that front knee. Okay, and so yes, it's a lengthening, but without locking out. benefits for me, just while I'm on my roll, benefits for me are that foot awareness position, and also having to keep, I'm doing that with my hand, oh, I'm not getting it quite right, but having to keep that beautiful straight spine that Steph has got is that constant reminder that we're trying to bring Tadasana, that lengthened spine, into every one of the yoga poses.
Yes.
Modifications, blocks, blocks, blocks. I sometimes, if I haven't been practicing for a little while or whatever, I'll get a block and then I'll put another block on top to really bring the floor to me, rather than me compensating with a rounded spine.
No, because a rounded spine, I'm sorry to say, it's cheat. You're cheating.
Yeah, whoa, cool, I can touch the ground, but yeah, no, you're cheating, and it's adverse in the body. So you're not then stabilizing where you need to be. You're actually then stressing.
Here, the whole point of that pyramid is getting that lower abdomen in, that extension, lifting through the sternum and forward to be able to breathe. The minute you collapse and you round your spine, you're affecting your breath. We don't talk about it enough, I find, but I don't care where you can put your leg or if you can fully fold forward, but if you can't breathe or you've like obstructed your breath somehow, then you've gone a little too far. So
yeah, that's something else.
Where you said check your ego at the door.
Yeah, that's
when you get on your mat.
Yeah, it's another big pose. This one that makes me do that, because then, you know, people with more length in their hamstrings, they can go further, and it's I mean, like, do you practice with your eyes closed, everyone? I do. That's a good way of checking the ego at the door. It's also great for balance because it makes you do more work in your body.
Yes.
But it's a really good way of checking the ego at the door, because there's then no comparison. We're not checking out other people. But
never check other people.
No,
I mean,
but we all do. I mean, people do in class.
Exactly. I mean, I check on the professional side. I like to see what people are doing, but it's like a really hard thing to do, because
as a teacher, yes, but
as
not as a student.
As a student, sometimes I can't, because I'll start crying because I have the shortest limbs ever. Yes, people are like, but your hamstrings are so long and so flexible. But at the end of the day, I have the shortest arms in the world, and let's not lie, my legs aren't that much longer either. So you have to work with what you have. So
always.
That's why we have blocks. Rachel's like, okay, I can do this perfectly. My legs are long. My hamstrings may not be as flexible as mine, but who cares at the end of the day?
Yeah, just do you, as it were. You know,
please.
Take yourself on the mat. And yeah, so benefits, it's about the foot awareness and the long spine for me. It's keeping that beautiful core stability throughout the whole spine, which is what Steph's talking about.
In.
Yeah, and then the alignment cues are a big one for me, is just not locking out that front knee and keeping in the four corners.
Yes.
And modifications, beautiful. We're talking about using the strap to, again, you can use that in if you're trying to bring your hands behind your back, and also using the blocks. I mean, it's awesome.
Blocks is a win, straps is a win.
Yeah.
And then if your spine is here instead of flat,
great.
Your spine is there instead of here.
Yeah, you know, you're hanging out in your pyramid, and your pyramid is here. That's perfect.
That brings way more integrity to the pose than actually just dumping into it. So again, thank you for listening. If you have any questions,
so good.
One per video,
and we're really excited. I am about the next pose, because Steph's going to show off her amazing bum strength.
Oh my goodness!
In one of the standing poses. So stay tuned for that. And again, everyone, thanks for being with us. Bye.